Hey guys, and welcome to our home safari here at the Cincinnati Zoo and Botanical Garden. My name is Andy. I am a trainer in our Cat Ambassador program. But we don't only just have cats in our program, we also have this lovely porcupine here. So this is who we're doing our home safari on today. This is Quilliam. He is an African crested porcupine. They're also commonly known as Cape porcupines as well. So we're gonna go ahead and tell you some fun facts about him, have him do some cool behaviors for you guys. Something that's pretty special and unique that we're doing right now is we're exploring a new space for him. So he normally lives up at our cheetah encounter building, but right now we're down in our cheetah exhibit across from Base Camp Cafe over there. Marky's saying hello. So this is a yard that is usually for our cheetahs on exhibit, but today we're letting Quill come here and explore, which is something that's really fun that we can do for him, and it's a novel form of enrichment for him as well. So some things you'll notice about him while we're up close and personal right now is you'll see those really long whiskers he has. Now these porcupines, they are nocturnal, so they're usually going to be spending their time outside at nighttime. They don't have the best vision. You can see he's got really tiny eyes, but that's where those whiskers come in handy. They help him to sense his environment. He also has an amazing sense of smell. You can see his really big nose that he has there. That allows him to sniff around when it's not so bright out. Something cool that you're noticing him do right now is I just gave him that big walnut. You got it, bud? Here, there you go. So he's using those huge teeth that he has. So Quilliam is actually a rodent. So he has those big teeth, just like all rodents do, that help him to break into his food that he's eating. So you can see he's breaking over that walnut with ease. That would take us, we would have to use a nutcracker to be able to do that, but he does it in no effort at all. So these guys are gonna be eating things that they find on the ground mostly, and a lot of like root vegetables. So they're really good diggers, and they like digging a lot, and that's where they find a lot of their food, by digging and rooting around. So he also has to make sure he's keeping those teeth nice and short, because those long rodent teeth are constantly growing throughout his lifetime. So we always make sure we give him fun snacks like those walnuts and some logs, fun things for him to be able to chew on to help those teeth to file them down, since they are constantly growing. He is the third largest rodent species in the world. The largest rodent species is the capybara, which is native to South America. These guys, like I said, they are in Africa. So a lot of people oftentimes confuse them with the North American porcupine like we have here in the States, but there are a few key differences that you'll notice about them. One of them being is these guys are always on the ground. They cannot climb. North American porcupines are pretty good climbers, and they're a lot smaller than the African cousins here like Quilliam. So something that they do have in common though, and all porcupines do, are their quills. So these quills are pretty unique, and they are not able to shoot them. That is actually a myth. I'm sure you've seen that a lot on cartoons, how porcupines can shoot their quills. Well, they can't do that. Their quills are made out of keratin, which is the same thing that our hair and fingernails are made out of. And we can't shoot our hair and fingernails, right? So he can't shoot his quills either. Instead, they do fall out very easily. He just dropped one. And did he just drop one? Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. And they shed them just like we'll shed our hair, or maybe your dog sheds their hair at home. But they do act as a really great form of defense. Yeah, we're gonna wait a second until this helicopter passes. So those quills do act as a really good form of defense against all types of predators. Now we're gonna go ahead and walk around a little bit. We'll show off some of those quills in person. So he has a couple different kinds of quills. Oh, look at this cool one he just dropped, because I was talking about them shedding. So he has a couple different kinds of quills. So he's got these really long ones that you can see there on the top. And those are his longest ones, and they're not really pokey, right? They're kind of flimsy. Those ones he more uses as a way to visually show off to predators and say, hey, I'm a lot bigger, you don't want to mess with me. So he can actually move those quills up and raise them up, just like how we get goosebumps on our skin and our hair goes up. That's the same thing that the porcupine does. So his first line of defense is going to be to raise all those quills to make himself look bigger. Now, if that doesn't work, one thing you'll notice about him is his black and white color. So that's another visual warning to predators to say, hey, stay away, back up, I've got something dangerous. Just like skunks here in Ohio are black and white as a warning to those predators to stay very, very far away. Now, if that doesn't work, what the porcupine does, instead of shooting those quills, he's gonna turn around and he's gonna show them the business end over here where all those really sharp quills are. So he has sharper quills just like this one here, and those are the ones that predators definitely don't want to mess with. So he has those on the back as a way to turn around, and if a predator gets really close, he'll just back into them with those really sharp quills. Now, something that's different about the African porcupine compared to North American porcupines is you'll notice the end of it is perfectly flat like that. Whereas North American porcupines, they have these really microscopic little barbs at the top of it, which is why they get stuck in animals. Maybe you've seen animals here that have all those quills stuck in their faces. That's why the North American porcupine does that. But these guys, they don't. They just go in and out, and they're very sharp, very painful. Animals usually will only mess with the porcupine once, and they will learn, hey, we need to stay away from them. Now, something else that's really unique about them that helps against their defenses is not only the black and white color, the really sharp quills, but they make this really cool sound that sounds exactly like a rattlesnake. So, you know, that rattlesnake sound, that hiss, that rattle, is a pretty universal animal sign to stay away from me. And these guys can do it as well. So they have these hollow quills. I have one of them that Quill dropped right here. They have those hollow quills at the end of their tail that he can rattle to make that sound. It's another way to warn against those predators, to say, hey, stay far away from me. So with all of those defenses combined, he is pretty well adapted to surviving on the African savanna and not have a lot of problems from predators. I've seen videos of a single African crested porcupine fending off an entire pride of lions and just doing what Quill's doing right now, just eating a snack and saying, hey, don't come near me. Now, Quill here, he's been in our program his whole life. He was hand-raised to be an ambassador animal. So you may have seen him before during our cheetah encounter programs, where he comes out and shows a few of his behaviors. He can do things like circle. There we go. That one's pretty good. My favorite thing he does right here is this cute little high five. Ready? There it is. Good job, Quill. And he will also travel with us to school programs to do educational programs to local people in the tri-state. And everyone loves seeing a porcupine in their school as well. So we're going to go ahead and let Quill kind of explore this yard a little bit. Like I said, we are in our cheetah exhibit area, so this is a fun new space for him. And while he explores, we're going to open it up to some questions for you guys.
Celeste wants to know if they have quills as babies.
Do they have quills as babies? Yes, they do. So these guys do have quills as babies, but they're a lot softer. So they're not going to be all rigid and hard like they are now. When they're born, they are softer, but that's something that hardens pretty quickly over time. And when these guys are born, they are about the size of a guinea pig. So pretty little like this. And here's a fun trivia fact for you. You call a baby porcupine a porcupet. I think that's super adorable.
Winnie would like to know if they like to swim.
Do they like to swim? You know what? Actually, they do. Quilliam himself is not an avid swimmer, but porcupines, they can swim. And those quills that they have, they're hollow, and it actually makes them pretty buoyant and able to float really well in the water. Now, I've never seen Quill do it. We do have a pool for him up at our cheetah encounter. He really just likes getting his feet wet on those hot summer days. But they can swim, which is pretty cool.
Delaney would like to know how long they live in the wild.
How long do these guys live in the wild? So they pretty much have a typical life expectancy of that of maybe, you know, dogs and cats up into their late teens usually. Quilliam here, he is 10 years old now. But like I said, he has been hand-raised in our program, and he came to us when he was just cute little guinea pig sized.
Blake from Maryland wants to know if they have knees.
Do they have knees? Oh yeah, they definitely have knees. They just bend differently than ours do. Being bipedal, these guys are quadrupedal, so their legs just bend a little bit differently than ours do. But yes, they do. And they use they have adaptive feet that allow them to be excellent diggers as well. They dig themselves burrows in the ground, and that's where they will spend their evenings, in the burrows that they've dug underground.
Delilah wants to know what is its scientific name.
What is its scientific name? Cristera hydrax, I think. Maybe. That's a good question. That's my best guess for that one.
Mike wants to know who's his favorite keeper.
Ooh, I don't know. That's always a hard one. Quilliam here, he has 4 keepers, and I like to think he likes all of us pretty well. He's a pretty sweet guy. He's pretty affectionate with his keepers, and he's the sweetest porcupine I've ever worked with. He likes getting scratches from us and hanging out with us. We're kind of like his social group. So how I said that these guys are social, he is the only one that we have here, so he is, we're part of his social group. So I think he likes all of us equally the same. I'm giving him, this is some applesauce. He likes a lot of different fun treats, so, and it's just pretty cute, so we're just gonna give him some applesauce while we answer the rest of these questions here.
Last question here. Devin asks how many quills he has.
How many quills does he have? That would be kind of like asking how much hair, how many individual hairs we have on our heads, right? That's a lot. They have a bunch of different modified quills, like I was mentioning earlier. He's got these really long mohawky ones at the top, these false quills, his rattling quills, the ones that he uses as his defense. So thousands and thousands of quills. It would take a really long time to count them all, I think.
All right, one more question. Are they related to hedgehogs?
Are they related to hedgehogs? That is a good question. So hedgehogs actually have spines, and these are called quills. So they are not in the same family. These guys are rodents, and a hedgehog is not. But they are using their quills or spines for very similar reasons, right? It's their way to defend themselves against predators, and it is a pretty good defense system. All right, Quill, well, this has been really fun, guys. We've enjoyed having you here and following us along on our home safari. So we've explored our cheetah exhibit here with Quilliam, the African crested porcupine. So be sure you stay tuned for our next home safari, which is tomorrow at 3 p.m. And also be sure to check the link on this video here for an activity that you can do from home. So thank you so much for tuning in, guys.